2024 capital budget for the city of Akron. And we have with us Helen Tomick from the, is it Long Range Capital Planning?
That's correct.
Along with a certain Mr. Jim Ashley as well.
Let me just,
And I see that, also I see the, a number of the cabinet members here and all the folks who are going to be responsible for a lot of this. I see Mr. Luddle is in the hot seat, so, and recognizing that much of this will be sewer, water, utilities, all those exciting things that we all enjoy talking about. I assume he's going to be here for a lot of that. So Helen Tomick, I can't stall much longer. I can try if you need me to.
I'm trying to get my slide thing here, but it's not working.
Okay.
So we'll just have to bring it.
What page will we be starting on here?
So we're going to start, I'm going to take a couple of minutes.
Okay.
First, to start off, to thank you for now allowing us to join you on day 2 of our presentations. We will be covering 3 sections today. But prior to that, I just wanted to share in the past couple of days, we've received quite a few calls in terms of what is the capital budget, what does it look like, what does it mean? And so we figured if we were getting those calls, you were probably getting them as well. So what we wanted to do is just take a little bit of a deeper dive in the capital budget and kind of present some context as to exactly what it is we're doing and just share with you the mass amount of property and assets that the city of Akron owns. And as we're preparing the capital budget, what we're considering presenting to you and the public every year during this process. So I wanted to take a minute, like I said, to talk about that. Secondly, we did discuss transportation, public facilities, safety, miscellaneous housing, and community development, and economic development last week. I'm going to take a couple minutes of your time to dig a little bit deeper into that, and then today we're going to talk about parks, recreation, sewer, and water. So the capital budget process. So we own a lot of property. We operate a lot of assets. That could include anything from this building, any municipal building, our community centers, our parks, our streets, our bridges, our fire stations, our water lines, our sewer lines. It is massive. When we look at our role, we need to protect these assets and make sure they are safe for the utilization of our citizens and our residents moving forward. So every year, staff from engineering department, water department, the sewer department, they sit down, they look at our assets, they look at conditions, and based on professional opinions, they come to us with a presentation. We need to fix these items. They look at their assets, they prioritize them, they coordinate repairs. What do we do? What do we need to maintain them? So now we've established need. So once that is done, they then work on finding other funding sources to help pay for this. Our staff is constantly on the lookout for budgets or grants that are available at the federal level and at the state level. Most grants at the federal and state level are competitive, so we need to prepare very good applications so they're competitive enough to score high enough to get funded. Obviously, at the federal level, we're applying for and competing against a lot of cities, all the cities in the country. At the state level, we are also competing for funding with cities across Ohio. Most funds have restrictions. So as we go through looking at our needs, our sewer needs, our water needs, the restricted funds. Some examples are, we talked a little bit about this for the homeless programs. The Department of Housing and Urban Development offers grants called the Emergency Solutions Grant Program. That's restricted to homeless only. There's a program through HUD called the Home Investment Program, Partnership Program. That's restricted for housing only. Also at the federal level, the Surface Transportation Public Block Grant Program, restricted to streets. So every time we look at different funding sources, there are restrictions associated with that. At the state level, there's a couple, Ohio Public Works Commission, OPWC, when you look at your budget, you'll see OPWC quite often. That's restricted to water, sewer, and transportation. At the local level, funding sources are income tax generated by taxpayers, general obligation debt, the sewer capital fund, and the water capital fund. Sewer capital funds are restricted, obviously, for sewer projects. Water capital fund restricted for water projects. So when there's projects, ideas of can we do this, can we do that, can we do that, we need to look at funding available at the federal, state, and local level. We also try to seek partnerships. We've resurfaced some streets, roads with Cuyahoga Falls and Fairlawn, splitting the costs in that, allowing us to do more with less of our resources. We talked about the process. This slide was from last week. A couple of items just touch on, and I keep on reminding folks, by city charter, we have to get this budget passed by the 15th. So then we've talked about assets and what we own. So I wanted to dig a little bit deeper in what we actually own. Our city roadway network is comprised of 832 centerline miles of pavement. And Jimmy Hall tells me that is from here to Jacksonville, Florida. So can you imagine maintaining that much roadway, resurfacing, potholes? That's a lot. So when we look at the resurfacing budget, we're actually looking, 832 centerline miles, we're looking to tackle 70 miles this year. Our overall goal for payment is to have our streets in good condition, which is like a 72. I'm thinking high schoolish, like a C. Okay. We have 122 million square feet of pavement. That's equivalent to 76 Cleveland Browns stadiums. Of that, 106 million is, or 87% is asphalt, 10% is concrete, and 3% is brick pavement. So those are all in the fair condition, 61, 63, 66 range. Our goal is to increase that to 72. We also maintain 144 bridges, which is quite a bit as well. Parks and Recreation. We conducted a comprehensive inventory of our parks in 2018. We maintain 1,560 acres of public space. That's 132 parks, 77 ball fields, and 100 courts. Recently, we talked about this last week. We are in the process of reconstructing at Davis and Patterson Park Community Centers, and we're in the design phases of the Reservoir Community Center. So we will be looking at redesigning that, rebuilding that. That'll be coming forth in the next couple of months. We operate 11 community centers and 1 fitness center. There's a community center in each ward, except for wards 3 and 5, they have 2. And then we also have the Bald Street Fitness Center. Public facilities. We have 15 fire stations. I'm not going to go through these, all of these.
Thank you.
12 municipal facilities.
Many of us
community
on the
centers,
committee
11
is
community
aware of
centers.
what,
I just wanted to give a brief overview.
I appreciate
Just,
your time. I just didn't know that we were going to go through this step by step. I didn't know.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
and we are a bit behind
Okay.
today. So, but I appreciate, educating us, but even the new ones, I think, are
Okay.
pretty much on.
Sure.
Thank
So
you.
then we will move on to Parks and Recreation then. Thank you.
What page?
That is page,
In your budget, it's page 4.
4?
Yeah.
Thank you.
oh, there we go.
Okay, this first slide, I'll be very brief with this. I just wanted to give a overall what makes up our park system. We have 7 park classifications: citywide parks, community parks, neighborhood parks, playgrounds, mini parks, ball fields, open space, and natural unmaintained areas. There's also 2 other classifications: regional parks and community learning centers. Our facilities, as Helen said, we have 11 community centers, 1 fitness center, 2 outdoor pools, 3 splash pads, 77 baseball fields, 19 football fields, 30 soccer fields, 38 basketball courts, 44 tennis courts, 18 pickleball courts, 103 playgrounds, 4 parks providing exercise equipment, 2 stadiums, 30 gyms, and 1 dog park. If you had any questions on that, or go right into it? Okay. Okay, the first slide for the budget is the Akron Parks Challenge. This is $150,000. Design and construction of recommended park improvements identified by the Akron Parks Collaborative through the Akron Parks Challenge Grant Program. Since 2018, the Akron Parks Collaborative has worked with neighborhood friends groups on redesigning and improving 10 parks under this grant program. During that time, they have also raised $1.2 million in private funds for park renovations. The 2024 capital budget will enable the Akron Parks Collaborative to award one $150,000 grant. The Parks Collaborative will also be completing renovations at the 2022 and 2023 Parks Collaborative winners, which are Boss Park, Higher Lions Park, and Morgan Park. The next project is the Akron Park Sign Replacement Program at $150,000. This is an annual program to replace park signs throughout the city to conform with the new Akron Park Sign Standards. The new park sign standard was approved by Urban Design and Fine Arts back in December of 2022. The new sign and printer software was purchased last year. The 2024 capital funds will be used to begin sign production. The bulk of the 2024 funding will be for updating signs at parks that were recently improved, as well as inadequate or no signage. The Bald Street Fitness Center, ARPA funds of $354,000, replace all non-functioning and marked as critical HVAC units throughout the building. AES has provided the building's mechanical evaluations, and the project has been bid and awarded and should be complete in the next 2 to 3 months. Court resurfacing program, $250,000. It's an annual program to address basketball and tennis court resurfacing needs. The court reconstruction of courts at Kerr Park is currently being advertised, and bids are due February 8th. This past year, courts were resurfaced at Morgan Park and Joy Park, and new pickleball courts were installed at Davenport Park and Joy Park. The proposed 2024 sites include Ohio and Erie Canal Park, Heinz Hillcrest Park, and Northwest Park.
Thank you. Any questions so far? Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Thank you.
a question.
Oh, yes, President Somerville.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. I was just going to ask, why are we not doing 2 parks for the Akron Parks Challenge? I know that the whole idea and concept, I know Councilman Hardy was instrumental in that, was so that we could touch all of our parks citywide. I know we still have quite a few that we have not been able to address. So I'm just wondering why just 1?
It was a funding issue. So we used to have 2 parks at $100,000 each, so we decided to go with 1 park at $150,000 due to the increase in cost.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, the next slide is the Ed Davis Community Center renovations. ARPA funds of $8 million. The Ed Davis Center was one of 3 facilities deemed to be in most need of significant repair through the 2020 Community Center Facility Audit. Groundbreaking was last February, and the new building is scheduled to open in spring of 2024. Improvements include full-size gym, indoor walking track, teen room, upgraded playground, and multipurpose room. Total investment is $11.5 million. The Elizabeth Park Splash Pad, $300,000 of community development funds. This would be the city's 4th splash pad. We did Joy Park in 2019, Patterson Park in 2020, and Firestone Park in 2022. The typical size is between 800 and 1,600 square feet. Elizabeth Park was a 2019 Akron Parks Challenge winner. Community outreach indicated that a splash pad was very high on their wish list, but was not possible given the $100,000 grant funds. However, as part of that grant program, there was a water line installed on the south side of Lodge to support this future splash pad. Firestone Stadium improvements of $125,000. The stadium has received $1.5 million in renovation over the past 2 years. Both the stadium and Pony Fields have new turf fields, new fencing, batting cages. In addition, major renovations have been made to the restroom and locker room areas. Items in 2024 may include the LED stadium lighting, new scoreboards, and sound system. The Akron Recreation Bureau has already secured Ohio High School Athletic Association Girls District, Regional, and State Softball Tournaments, NCAA Division II Great Midwest Athletic Conference Tournament, as well as the NCAA Division I Mid-America Softball Tournaments. The final park on this slide is Good Park Golf Course Booster Pump Station, $140,000, and this will bring on a new water service and booster pump to pressurize the irrigation sprinkler heads at Good Park Golf Course.
Questions? Very good.
The following three projects are for the Gorge Dam removal. Our Environmental Engineering Division is managing this massive undertaking. The first project is the Gorge Dam removal. This is a Great Lakes Restoration Initiative grant to pay for the design and removal of the 112-year-old Gorge Dam and associated river restoration. Design anticipated through 2026 at a cost of $1.8 million. The Gorge Dam is the last in a chain of dams from Kent to Cuyahoga Falls that have been demolished over the past several years and will create a free-flowing river from Kent to Lake Erie. The Gorge Dam removal bank stabilization. This is stabilizing the former Ohio power plant site on Front Street. This needs to be done ahead of the Gorge Dam removal. Legislation to enter into contracts for construction management services was placed on consent agenda last week. Anticipated start date is early March of this year. The Gorge Dam removal sediment placement area, $4.7 million. Preparation of a 35-acre site in Chuckery area of the Cascade Valley Park to receive the dredged sediment from the Gorge Dam pool. Construction includes grading, stormwater ditches. It's estimated 1 million cubic yards of sediment will be pumped 2 miles from the dam to an area on the south side of the river between Cuyahoga Street and Peck Road. After final grading is complete, sediment mounds will be capped with soil, and the area will be planted with native trees and vegetation and contoured to look as natural as possible. And the final park on this slide is Heinz Hillcrest Park Walking Trail Phase 2, $50,000. Design and construction of the second phase of a crushed limestone walking path. Phase 1 was completed in 2017. Work will be done in-house through parks maintenance, similar to what was recently done at Schneider Park in West Akron. The trail will connect to existing Brown Street and Dresden Street to Clinton Avenue and Highview Avenue. Questions? Higher Park Nature Trail, $75,000. Renovations to the nature trail from Redwood Drive to Lions Park. Higher Lions Park was a 2022 Akron Parks Challenge winner. Enhancements to the trail was a high priority identified through community outreach, and a portion of their Akron Parks Challenge grant funds are being used to create seating, a story walk, and wayfinding. This line item will provide materials necessary for parks maintenance to stabilize sections of the trail and stairs that have deteriorated over time. Irrigation upgrade and miscellaneous repairs is $20,000. We established this line item in 2023 as an annual program to upgrade and repair existing irrigation systems throughout the city. This project is overseen by Parks Maintenance. Kaboom Playgrounds, $450,000, $150 local and $300,000 private. This is a continued partnership with Kaboom for the construction of inclusive playgrounds to address play space inequities. Since 2010, the City of Akron has partnered with Kaboom on the construction of 9 community-built playgrounds throughout the city. This past year, a 3,700 square foot play space was installed at Morgan Park. And in 2022, play spaces were constructed at Joy Park and Talbot Whitney Park. Final project on this slide is Low Cuyahoga River restoration, Lowhead Dam removal. This is a $3.3 million project to restore floodplain areas, remove 3 lowhead dams to address channelization in the river and improve fish habitat. Design was funded in 2023, construction to begin in April 2024 with completion in August of 2025. The area runs from Cascade Valley Park north of Memorial Parkway down to East Market Street and then Kelly Avenue. Any questions on that slide?
Mr. Hardy?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just want to applaud our environmental stewardship here, and I see we've got 2 major dams coming down. I'm just curious, how many dams would be left after these this work in terms of the Cuyahoga River running freely?
Mr. Luttle?
Oh,
Go ahead,
sorry.
could you please?
Yes, sorry. So applauding the environmental stewardship, we've got the Gorge Dam, we've got the Lowhead Dam removals. I was just curious, where are we at in terms of how many dams would be left before the Cuyahoga River runs freely?
Well, right now, once these low-head dams are on the Little Cuyahoga, so this is down from the end of Osit, down past the dog park. The Gorge Dam, once it's removed, it'll be free-flowing all the way up to Lake Rockwell, all the way through Kent.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments? Yes.
I'd just like to thank council, the city council, and the city of Akron for Morgan Park. When I looked up and saw Kaboom Playground, and Jim was very instrumental in walking us through that playground. And we're going to be opening that playground up July the 13th of this year. That's going to be a grand opening in South Akron. Thank you.
Nice, thank you. Further questions or comments? Okay, thank you, Mr. Ashley.
Next project is the Lock 3 restrooms. ARPA $200,000, update restroom space at Lock 3 to support concerts, festivals, and year-round recreational activities. Authorizing legislation for this project was placed on consent agenda earlier this afternoon. Majority of the work will be performed in-house, similar to the work that's been completed at Firestone Stadium. The work is anticipated to be completed in July. Miscellaneous community centers, $300,000. This would be a new line item specifically to address improvements and emergency repairs at community centers, including HVAC systems, flooring, lighting, and restrooms. In 2023, community center improvements handled under the miscellaneous parks line item included Bald Street locker rooms and spa, Summit Lake gym and locker rooms, Lawton Street furnishings, Joy Park boardroom, Ellet HVAC windows and entryway, and the Northwest Family Recreation Center HVAC and doors. The miscellaneous parks line item of $300,000. This is for small capital improvements at various parks and community center grounds. Improvements in 2023 included soccer goals at Copley Road, play equipment at Atwood Galena Park, Heinz Hillcrest Park, and Climax Park, lighting at Higher Park, drinking fountains at the Dog Park and Summit Lake, as well as electrical repairs at Waters Park. Northwest Park, $50,000, is renovations to Chateau Field. This includes a new scoreboard and electrical work, as well as looking into dugout shading. The ball fields are used by the West Akron Baseball League and Firestone CLC. The park exterior lighting upgrades of $70,000 replaces exterior light fixtures with LED at various parks locations. Sites include Joy Park, Patterson Park, Heinz Hillcrest Park, and Higher Park.
Very good. Questions? Okay.
Parks and public spaces, $50,000. Installation of additional security cameras at city parks, community centers, and great streets. Projects overseen by communications. Sites improved in 2023 included Perkins Pool, Ellet Community Center, Kenmore Senior Center, and Logan Field. Patterson Park Community Center, $8 million in ARPA funds. Groundbreaking was last October. The existing 8,300 square foot building will be replaced with a 12,400 square foot footprint. New facility will include space for indoor volleyball, pickleball, basketball, new meeting rooms, a multipurpose room, game room, art gardening room, and new outdoor playground. Building is expected to be complete late 2024, early 2025. Perkins Park, $100,000. This is for park rehabilitation, including basketball courts, parking lot, playground, walkways, and lighting. This would be a multi-year project to support the recent pool renovations. 2024 will primarily address the sidewalks, lighting, and parking. Reservoir pool rehabilitation is $6.9 million in ARPA funds. Reconstruction of the pool at Reservoir Park and bathhouse. This footprint is similar to the new Perkins Pool with a 25-meter lap lane, upgraded locker rooms, 15-foot slide, climbing wall, shallow water play space, shaded areas, and upgraded bathhouse. Authorizing legislation was introduced earlier this afternoon. Construction anticipated to begin this spring and be completed spring of 2025. Total cost estimated at $6.9 million. Reservoir Park Community Center renovations, that's ARPA 4.7 million to rehab the community center, including a building expansion. It will double the size of the existing building, include several community rooms, meeting rooms, new kitchen, multipurpose space, gathering spaces. Authorizing legislation was also introduced earlier this afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Ashley. Any questions? Mr. Lombardo?
Yes, replacing park exterior lighting upgrades. So I just know at Patterson Park, it's a big park, you know, there's near the community center, and then there's kind of way over there, the basketball courts and tennis courts, which are very dark. So does that include that, do you know?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, and we're working with building maintenance
Okay.
on those lists. But
All
those
right,
are the sites they identified as the highest priority.
thank you.
Jim, this is probably, this question is basically probably hard to pin down and answer, and Mr. Ludlow may be able to answer it. Just in terms of, I see here, the parks and public spaces, 50,000 for security cameras, and I don't know, you know, in terms of coverage, not only that, but it also says great streets. So just curious, like, how far away are we? Are we way far away? You know, in terms of getting adequate coverage, and I know it's probably kind of an ambiguous question, but just curious about that piece.
We can get you a detailed list, but a lot of our community centers, we do have coverage with cameras. Okay, when we leverage the ARPA or the dollars to get Fairlawn Gig downtown, now we have fiber at all the community centers with our own fiber, so we're able to put those cameras up at the community centers.
Okay.
But we're working through adding more as we go, and the upgrades to the lighting, we're going to LED where we can, and the highest priority is the parking lots, and then we'll go out to the other spaces into the parks.
Gotcha, great streets too.
Yes, great streets also.
Thank you. Further questions? Okay, very good. Yes, Mr. Hanna.
What is a great street, and how is a great street chosen in the city of Akron?
So great streets are, if you think about neighborhood business districts, we have 13 great streets throughout the city. It's small pockets where, think Kenmore Business District, think, what else do we have? Middlebury. So we look at providing assistance to building owners to improve the facade, what those buildings look like with new windows, new doors, new awnings. And we also look at doing public improvements. We look at doing flower pots just to make those great streets, neighborhood business districts more approachable and a good experience for folks to go out and shop in our areas. We do have one in Arlington as well. I don't remember the boundaries, but we can talk about that. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So just briefly, Councilman, our administration is kind of evaluating how we move forward with the Great Streets program that was created under Mayor Horgan's leadership, and again, Councilman Hardy was very involved. Latonda Mobley with our team is helping manage that project, and we'll make sure to have her reach out to you and connect around Ward 5 Great Streets, because I think there's at least one, and I think there's several. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Anyone else? Very good. Mr. Ashley.
Rubber City Heritage Trail Phase 1, $2.3 million. Construction of the multi-use recreational trail to utilize a 6-mile abandoned Akron-Barberton Cluster Railroad corridor. Phase 1 runs from 3rd Avenue to East Exchange Street. Construction is underway. Improvements include asphalt pavement, wayfinding signage, benches, conduits for future fiber optic, and enhanced pedestrian crossings, including bridges over Case Avenue and River Street. Total construction estimated at $2.4 million. Rubber City Heritage Trail Phase 2, $116,827. Line item is for continued design of Phase 2. Authorizing legislation was passed July 24, 2023. The limits are East Exchange and Arlington Street intersection to the East Exchange Street and Huntington Avenue intersection, east of Fountain Street. Phase 2 extends the trail westward for a total of 1.7 miles, ending at the protective bike lanes being constructed along East Exchange. Design began last July and should be complete this summer. Construction cost estimated at $1 million. Skateboard Park. This is $250,000. We're showing private funds for the relocation of the Akron Skate Park. The Akron Skate Park opened in 2001, is approximately 18,000 square feet. As mentioned during last week's capital budget presentation, LTA is looking to lease airport land that is currently occupied by the Akron BMX track and skate park. LTA has agreed to assist in the relocation. Discussions are in the early stages at this time, and this line item is more of a placeholder to provide transparency.
For skateboard? Okay, thank you.
Waters Park, $100,000. This is park rehabilitation, including reconstruction of shuffleboard, shade structures that are beyond their useful life and becoming a safety concern. Waters Parks has 10 shuffleboard courts operated by the Akron Shuffleboard Club. Akron Shuffleboard Club is a member of the Ohio State Shuffleboard Association and hosts several tournaments annually, including the Ohio State men's and ladies singles and double tournaments in June.
Good to know. Thank you. Questions or comments from anyone? Yes, Ms. Boyes?
Thank you. A lot of these projects are huge and super exciting. One thing I can't help but notice that not a single one of them is earmarked for Akron's second largest neighborhood, which my ward comprises. And I just happen to see a lot of our families leaving Akron to find their recreation and sports to communities southward from Akron or westward. And I know a lot of this is probably carryover from prior administration, but I just wanted to mention that I'm looking forward to working with the new administration to make sure that doesn't happen again. Thank you.
Well spoken. Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Ashley, I had noticed it's not written here, but now I know apparently the lighting for Phase 1 of the Rubber City Heritage Trail is not going to be included. However, I did hear you say conduit will be is included in this, the construction phase of it. I would like to know exactly what that dollar estimate is for the actual lighting. Okay, very good. What's next?
So we will move to water.
What page is water? It's interesting.
It's coming, hold on. Yeah.
What page number, please?
Jeff, what page number is it on, too? It's water and sewer. The entire budget.
I'm sorry? Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I know. It's just not going to be, it's not going to be there.
I didn't bring a budget with me. 24? So it is not in that PowerPoint presentation. There was a separate one that was sent
Oh,
out just
okay.
for water.
Okay, good. So
Yeah, and-
everyone should go to
Yeah,
their,
I believe it
I'm
was-
sure it's, and I understand that,
You may need to press reload on your iPad because it was
Okay.
sent after we sent the finalized this morning. So if you already downloaded the meeting, you might need to press reload to see those additional attachments.
and plus that, it was beneficial, I think, in terms of, you know, what you started out with. But I asked Sarah if that was part of our, within our, on base, and it is. It's been added, so for everyone else, it'll be out there. Plus, we could perhaps put some of those documents that you had given us on our social media, so, or our email. Good. The ones that were just presented today, though, that's the ones we should put on. So, go ahead, Sarah.
Okay, this is the Water Bureau portion. The first thing is the Copley Township, Copley Road Water Main Extension under 21. Anything that we talk about in the water extensions outside the city are either, they're funded with H2 Ohio money, Ohio EPA money, and then the balance of those funding sources are paid by tap-in fees of the people connecting to our system. So just to be clear. So the Copley Road water main extension under 21, we're extending a 12-inch water main under 21 to connect two water mains on the west side of 21 to loop these mains. Coventry Township, Portage Lakes water main extension. This is to extend the several streets in the Portage Lakes area. There again,
I don't see it either. What, I'm sorry, what page are we on, please?
I have 24 in the regular budget. Do you have,
A couple of us
in the
over here.
version I have?
20.
I don't think that's, no, that's not the right page number. It's not on 24,
Water starts on page
20.
21.
21.
Water starts on page 21.
Okay, I see it now. Yeah, but on page 22 is where the joint economic development districts are, and that's what you're speaking to right now,
Yes.
Mr. Ludell? Okay, thank you.
The next project is the Copley Township water main extensions. It's in the Portage Lakes neighborhood. This is another Ohio EPA. 53% of this project's funded by them with principal forgiveness, and then the other 47% of this project is funded with tap-in fees and connections. The next one is the US 224 Waterloo Road water main extension. We are looping two JED mains. But what this service is in Akron, the intersection of Arlington and Waterloo. That's kind of a high point for us, and we have low pressure, so it's going to take care of that. The next project is the Archwood Avenue Booster Station. This is just upgrading the booster station at Archwood. It's right by Fire Station 8 on Archwood. The next project we're doing is the Britton Road reservoir replacement. This project has been, we've been talking about this for years. This is just the final design to put this out to bid soon. This is just, like I said, this is to bring everything up to today's code.
Okay. Good. Any questions?
Water distribution. Kenmore Boulevard, 28th Street water main connection. This water main runs from Kenmore Boulevard under the tracks. We've had problems with this. This project will allow us to line this water main underneath the tracks. Next is lead service replacement. This is a $10 million project. There again, we got a loan from the principal forgiveness, so 53% of this will be paid through Ohio EPA, and then the other 47% will be funded through water capital. So this will help us reduce the number of lead services in our system. The next is the North Summit Hudson Aurora water main extension. This will extend a 12-inch water main on Hudson Aurora Road, just north of the Turnpike, approximately 800 feet. This project is being funded by the Hudson surcharge that we charge the Hudson customers to improve their system. Next is the North Summit Arbor water main replacement. This is to replace a chronic water main that we've had numerous breaks on. This is another Hudson project. And there again, it's funded with the Hudson surcharge. Pump station improvements, we are replacing, or we're upgrading the Quail Avenue and Ellett pump station. We're keeping the shell, but we're getting all new pumps, all new windows, all new doors, all new electrical panels, because it's beyond its useful life. And we did receive $550,000 from OPWC on that project as a grant, not a loan. So South Hawkins water main extension, This is to build about 1,200 feet of 8-inch water main along South Hawkins. Currently, there's no water main from Morris Road down Hawkins. So we are going to build this water main down to Jason, and it will help us loop that neighborhood. Water distribution, building generator replacement. We currently do not have a generator that powers the entire water distribution facility in the event of a power loss. So this will allow us to do the entire facility in the case of a power outage. Water distribution vehicle replacement. This is just our annual replacement of equipment in the water distribution department. Water main replacement 2024. This will be a loan through WSRLA. This is our annual replacement, and we prioritize these water main replacements from chronic break history. I could tell you over the weekend we had about 17 water main breaks, so it was not a very good weekend. Our crews worked both Saturday and Sunday. We have 5 crews out there today, so we're catching up, but it seems like every time we fix one, we get another call. So
much depends on the weather.
yeah, so we want to replace some of these aging water mains. Next is our 2025 water main replacement, and this is just for design only, to design for our 2025. Let me hold up a minute, Helen.
I'm not sure what the deal is.
Any questions or comments?
Any
questions or
on that?
comments? I'm sure everyone's keeping up quite nicely with regards to, but it's,
No, I was just gonna say,
I'm sorry, yeah.
just add a comment if
Mr.
we're waiting
Lombardo.
for something to thank the water crews, because every council member knows that we get 3, 4, 5 emails a day about a water main break. And, you know, they had to work the weekend, so really appreciate their efforts. And I don't know if there's anything that can be done,
Yeah,
because it's
it
an
is.
aging system. We always see this, but
Trying to stay
we're
ahead
all-
of it.
try to stay ahead. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Yep.
Legacy City.
The next project is the Willington Lake Erie Railroad Yard water main replacement. We have a water main, a 12-inch that runs from Mogador Road under the expressway at 76, under the Willington Lake Erie, over by Matt Concrete and Ellet. We've had this water main out of service for over a year, and this will allow us to go in and line that water main. We were very successful when we lined the water main up North Street, and then we went up Valley and then up Crosby. So we did that project last year, and we plan to do the same thing here with this water main that runs under, obviously we can't dig up the expressway, so we're gonna line this water main.
Very good.
Next is the Akron Water Resiliency Plan update. This is something we've been working with Cleveland to do emergency connections in the event we'd have a major outage. Several spots have been identified through our system to connect to Cleveland to bring water down in the event we'd have a problem at our water plant. The next is fluoride and hydrochloric acid feed
Chris,
systems.
I'm sorry, real quick. What's that funding source for that one?
Just,
For the resiliency piece?
it's water capital.
Okay,
But we did get a loan through WSLRA. It's a low-interest loan.
okay, good.
Yep.
Thank you.
And we're splitting that with Cleveland. They're funding part of that.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know.
Fluoride and hydrochloric acid feed system, we did get some OPWC for this, and we're just basically upgrading those 2 systems at the water plant. The dry tanks, the transfer pumps, they're just in the metering station or beyond their useful life.
And Chris, OPWC is?
Ohio Public Works Commission.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's a grant?
That is actually a grant, it's not a loan.
Very good. Thank you.
Yes, typically we only get those in transportation projects, but we did apply and we did score enough to get money from them.
Very nice.
Yes.
Good.
High service pump valve replacement, limited torque valve replacement design. This is a carryover. This is to replace the 6 Pratt valves in the basement of the water plant. In the event we would have a power outage or we'd shut down the pumps, these valves shut and it keeps all the water back from the system from backflowing into the plant. Low lift 5K feeder relocation. We brought this to council, I don't know, maybe a few months ago. Between two of our buildings, we have a feeder system that it's low enough where if a semi would come through there, we have it marked, but it's one of these things where we need to change it. We need to upgrade the electric anyway, so we're going to raise it where it crosses those two driveways.
Very good. Questions? Okay. Miscellaneous?
Water plant, the miscellaneous asphalt work, we brought that to council this afternoon. We're just going to be in some miscellaneous repairs to our asphalt in our non-paved areas. Miscellaneous plant improvements, this is our annual reoccurring miscellaneous improvements to our water plant. This is windows, this is some minor HVAC, some minor roof repairs. We do some door work, some minor upgrades to our electrical system.
And obviously, Chris, sorry to interrupt, but if there would be any expenditure over 50,000?
Everything would come back to you. Just like today with the resurfacing.
Yeah, just to remind everyone.
Yeah, we bring
that
everything
comes back to us. Everything that we're looking at, we'll see again if it's over 50,000. Thank you.
And we do with this miscellaneous plant improvements, we do, just like we're doing on a triplet, we do some locker room upgrades, redo some of the showers up there. Safety improvements, it's confined space, it's electrical upgrades to meet OSHA new standards. This is an ongoing thing we do every year. Raw water intake valve replacement. What we have is we have a where the water comes out of the reservoir, we have the old system and a new system. This is to replace the valves on the old system. If we'd have a failure on the intakes, the new intakes, this is just to go in and exercise and replace those valves if we had to in event of emergency to open up the water into the plant. As you know, all the water flows off the reservoir by gravity. We have no pumps, so it just flows through. And if these valves didn't work, we wouldn't be able to stop the water if we had to. So, sediment basement HVAC, we have sediment basements 1 and 2 are in a covered building. The other 4 are outside. This is to replace the existing HVAC system in the sediment basin building. Like I said, sediment basins 1 and 2. The sediment basin clarifier drives, the 4 outside basins, there's like 200 feet of flights that actually, it's like a sweep as the sediment, as the raw water, all the cement falls to it takes all that sediment and it pushes it, and then we remove it through the system. This is to remove all the old existing hardware. Some of it is galvanized, some of it is stainless, but what we found at the wastewater plant, replacing all these drives, all these sprockets, all these chains, they make a graphite where they don't rust, and I'm saying we'll probably get 30 years out of it, but we're gonna upgrade all these. They're all original. I mean, we've done repairs over the years, but to upgrade the whole system.
Makes sense.
Yep. Water plant security fencing, this is something we do every year, but on the east entrance to the plant, we're gonna push the fence back of the driveway. We've had some trucks, because it's so narrow there, it's actually clipped the fence or hit the fence over here, so we're gonna push it all back. Any questions?
Questions? Very good. Okay.
Water plant vehicle replacement. This is equipment up at the water plant. This is an ongoing thing. We upgrade backhoes, trucks as needed. This is our budget. We try to keep up with what we have, but our rolling stock is getting older as everybody else is too. Water plant main upgrade. This is to install a new 12-inch water main to loop the plant with where we connect where our chlorine content is. This is for all the potable water at the plant, and then all our feed systems for our chemical systems. So this is original 12-inch water main, and we'll be replacing it with this project. And then last is the watershed. East Branch improvements, the Army Corps of Engineers, they do inspections on our dam. This is recommendations by them. So there are tow drains that need to be reconfigured, slope stabilization, riprap needs to be added, just to have a more effective water runoff of the dam and to maintain its integrity. Next is Lake Rockwell planning. This is something we're looking at. They've done this in Columbus where they've put an up-ground reservoir. So we did get a FEMA grant for $400,000. And what they do, it's an inflatable, and since we own the land adjacent to Lake Rockwell, what you do is you divert water into this basin by an inflatable dam. And as you need this raw water, conceivably, I'm not saying we will, but we could remove Lake Rockwell Dam if we were able to do this. So the river would stay free flowing. As the councilman mentioned earlier, what's the last dam?
Yeah.
This is just a study, but FEMA did give us $400,000 to study would be an up-ground reservoir. Like I said, they did do it in Columbus, and it has been working.
That'd be a major project.
It would be a major project, but we
be
would,
amazing.
if we could get rid of a
Yeah.
100-year-old dam, and the liability of that,
Yeah.
it's very interesting. And I think that's why we got this funding last year.
And that's great. That's, everyone for
This
for
is a
note, that's
planning grant,
like
yes.
90%
Yep.
FEMA funding, so that's a good thing. Great.
Uh,
Interesting.
Miscellaneous spillway improvements, there again at Lake Rockwell, Mogador, and Ladue. It's just to do minor spillway improvements with bank stabilization, that type of thing. And then last is watershed property acquisition. This is pretty much a placeholder. Anytime up in our watershed, as you know, we own 20,000 acres. Over the years, we've actually bought a couple small trailer parks that were defunct. We've eliminated, and they were on septic. So we've purchased that land, we've cleaned it up, we've removed those septic systems, and then then it just becomes part of the watershed.
Right.
So that's a placeholder. We don't have anything really in mind if we were going to buy something, but then again, if we were going to buy a piece of property, there's some money in the budget, we would come back to you and say, we would like to buy this piece of property and the reason why we're doing it.
Yeah, makes sense. Very good.
And
Question?
the only thing that I think I might have missed on slide 1 of the PowerPoint is just an update to the water main replacement, meters replacement this year. Now, it's ongoing. It's been ongoing for a few years. I don't think we're going to be done by the end of the year of 2024, but we're going to be real close. So right now, we're in the West Hill neighborhood. We just came out of, we've worked our way around from Firestone Park through the west side of Akron. We've done a little bit of Kenmore, and now we're in the, I think we're like in the Diagonal Delia neighborhood, and we're working our way around, so we'll get that neighborhood, and we'll go to Highland Square next, and then we'll go on to North Hill, and then on to Goodyear Heights. So it's going pretty good, but I think I might have missed that to mention that one water meter replacement.
Very good. Thank you.
So move on to sewer, and Mr. Luddle's going to cover that as well. That is a different PowerPoint presentation
Okay.
that should have been
Did they get
on
that
your
one?
iPads.
What page on
It should
the-
be in the iPads now. Would you like me to get a printed copy for you?
Yes, please.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I'm
What page on the budget?
an update.
Page 16.
Page 16. Thank you. Just a quick moment. Mr. Bernowski, I see, is leaving. I want to recognize him for all of his good work in terms of making sure we get our water. I would also submit, I wanted to mention this, Mr. Luddle, but perhaps in the spring with the amount of new folks that we have here, I think it would be worth our while, even some of us older ones here, to go up and take a tour and see exactly what that magic is from way up north to our taps. And so that's yeah, if we could set that up, just keep in mind.
Absolutely. I mean, we'd love to.
It's
have,
amazing.
Yeah.
The work that's done up there, and you guys do a great job of getting water to our taps safely.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece of property.
Yeah,
I mean, they talk about bald eagles in a national park. We have a lot up there, but, yeah,
yeah,
it's a beautiful piece of property, and they manage it very well.
yeah, they do. Thank you, Mr. Bronowski. Thank you. Okay, we can,
You ready?
yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll get that in a second, the PowerPoint. But what page again? 16?
Page 16.
16. Okay, very good. Water?
Akron
no, sewer.
Waterways renewed. So we're going to start with Case Avenue parking lot. This is a carryover. This is a carryover from last year. This was part of our, when we did our consent decree, Rex 57, we purchased this land, and if you remember, we tore down some old businesses there on the corner of Case.
yeah.
That were not very desirable businesses, so we took them down, and now we're
Cheered
building.
that one.
And we're building
Those
a
of us
parking-
on the east side were extremely,
Yeah, we're building a parking lot for the battered women's shelter. It's
Uh-huh.
gonna be 42 spaces that'll be protected, and that's what they've wanted for a while, so when they're people that visit there have a place safely to come in, and we're gonna be putting a bridge over the little canal there. So
Right.
they won't have to go around on the street or anything.
Good, that's
They'll be able to
great.
get in that parking lot and go right to the batter's women's. So that, we're finishing it up. This is just a closeout. The combined sewer real-time control, this is something we've talked about. We refer to them kind of as smart sewers. So this is all our basins, our one tunnel, we just started the other tunnel, where we can manage and hold back flow. We're very proud that we had 0 untreated overflows at the plant last year. So that was a great accomplishment. I could tell you over the weekend, the way they managed that tunnel and they kept the flow at the plant and they held back and they dewatered, it was all weekend. So no overflows from the tunnel, no overflows from the system. It worked very well. So the next is the CSO program management team. This project provides, program management for the implementation of our consent decree. As you know, we're down to 2 projects, the
Yep.
tunnel we're constructing and the EHRT. There'll be more to come on the high-rate treatment facility, but this has been reduced over time. This was up to 8 or 10 million a year, and we reduced it down to about 2 million, and eventually it'll be eliminated.
so,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say,
Oh.
let's hope.
Oh, let's hope, yes. Yes.
It will, but
Yes.
the sooner the better.
The CMOM 5-year program, some of you remember when we signed this consent decree, we have to TV and clean every mile of our sewer, which is about 1,200 miles a year, every 5 years. Believe it or not, we're in the 3rd round of that, and we're year 5 of that 3rd round. So Cauga Street storage disinfection, this is part of the HRT elimination. We're looking to put disinfection in Cauga Street, and this would be an alternative project, one of the alternative projects that we wouldn't have to build the HRT. So there again, there'd be more to come on the 4th Amendment.
Gotcha. Very good. Questions?
All right, next is the high-rate treatment facility. This is the 26th in the project, and we are negotiating currently with the Ohio, U.S., and the federal court on this project. Our hope is to be able to do alternate projects and not build this, but it is in here. Northside Tunnel, as you know, this is the 16-foot diameter tunnel. We're in construction currently. We expect the machine to be on site later this year. This was, in the consent decree, it was supposed to be a 24-foot diameter tunnel. Now it's a 16, and we estimated it's going to save our ratepayers about $50 million on this project. The Ohio Canal Interceptor Tunnel is completed. These are closeout charges. There was a few things left over with the warranty and timing, so now we can close that project out finally. Riverside separation, this is part of the 3rd Amendment. We're separating Rack 34. It's those streets off of Cauga Falls Avenue. There's 10 of them. That's under construction currently. So we expect this project to wrap up later this year. And the last one on this page is the BioSep WRF. This is another closeout project. This takes us from 220 million gallons flow a day up to 280. So knock on wood, we haven't run into this hasn't really caused us any problems because we really haven't used it. I mean, we've only had to use it a couple times, the way they manage the real-time control, and that was something they did yesterday, to not put too much flow into that system, which means we just have to burn chemical. So, okay. Any questions? Sanitary sewers. Britton Road Pump Station, it's down there. Some of you may remember when it's called Barney Busy Corners. You know, we're end of Chapel Hill and where Cauga Falls and Talmadge come together. We have a pump station down there. This will allow us to reconstruct that. One of the things that we're looking at with this pump station is a negotiation with maybe Talmadge and Cauga Falls to eliminate this, and then we would just figure out the flow through a metering station, and we would eliminate pumping this back up to a gravity sewer.
So this is for, I wasn't looking up there.
This is the Brenton Road Pump
engineering?
Station reconstruction, number 2.
Is it for, it's not for construction, is it, or is it for, is it
This would be to
Planning, engineering?
reconstruct, well, this is to be construct a new pump station.
totally a reconstruction?
Totally redo it. But we are looking at possibility of not rebuilding it and maybe being able to go to gravity if we were able to tie into either Falls or Talmadge's system and then work on an agreement to pay for that flow.
Okay,
So we would come back either way. If we build it, we're going to come back
Yeah.
with legislation.
very good, thank you.
Yep. Flow monitoring and rain gauges, this project is continuing. This is something that we've used through all 3 of our amendments, and now amendment number 4, it's 13 rain gauges, flow monitors out in the system. And this helps with the real-time control. Hawkins District sewer improvements, this will help us repair sanitary sewers in the Hawkins District. It will include sewer manholes, laterals, and CIPP lining. That's the Hawkins District improvements.
Question on that one. I'm seeing a disconnect. Is it, am I looking at the right place here? I see 1.65 in our budget and 1.8 up there.
Are you looking at the Hawkins District sewer?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We show $1.8 million. 165.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Thank you. Just checking.
Next is miscellaneous collection improvements. This project includes commercial lateral replacement and vehicle and equipment repair and replacement. Next is the miscellaneous sanitary sewer emergency improvements. This project will design, construct, and reconstruct various sanitary sewer improvements throughout the city. We don't really have any set locations. Sanitary sewer force main replacement. This project will reconstruct deteriorated cast iron force mains from Fairhill, Cromwell, Fairlawn, Knowles, and Clearfield. Those are all pump stations out in our systems. Those pump stations are off of Thurmont, and Clearfield is near the Ohio Canal. Next is sanitary sewers. All of these projects listed as a reconstruction project design each year. They involve rehabilitation of sanitary and combined sewers, manholes, and point repairs. This is all done by lining mostly or spray lining. So these are 2021, 2021. It's large diameter lining, small diameter lining, then the 2023 lining, 2024 lining, 2025 lining, 2026 lining. And there again, we'll bring these back to you as we bid them or get authorization to bid these projects. And then once we award these projects. So moving on to sanitary reconstruction, sanitary sewers. Shoreline pump station improvements. This is the pump station out there off of Carnegie and Nesbith Lake. This pump station What it actually does, it pumps to the pump station on Manchester Road, and then that it goes gravity. This is needed to, we're talking about building homes down at the old school. Gunther, thank you. Tired of mowing it. We'd love for them to build houses there, but this extra capacity needed, we would rebuild this pump station to do that. Springfield Lake sewer lining. This is, I think I brought this project to you a few months ago. We did bid and award this. This is 3,500 feet of 33-inch sewer lines through the Springfield outlet. We did have a failure a few years ago down by Goodyear. Someone said that the stream quit running. Well, what happened was when the sewer broke, the stream was running right into the sewer. So we couldn't figure out why we had high flows, but you had a stream coming down this way and over there it was dry. Well, when you found out where the hole was, it was going right into our sewer. So we did do a spot repair, but this is gonna help allow us to line that 3,300 feet of 33-inch sewer. Stormwater, we have a few projects, Brewster Creek. There's a point source repairs through Brewster Creek. Castle Boulevard, we have a storm sewer that's failing in the metro parks. We're going to have to go in there and rebuild the storm sewer. The erosion's getting dangerously close to a house right in the park, or right on Castle Boulevard. So we are looking to do that very soon. And there again, we would bring that back to you as soon as we get a project built.
It's within the metro parks and it's ours, huh?
It's in the metro parks, but it's our sewer.
Of course, it's ours, yeah.
Miscellaneous storm improvements, this will help us, there's various storm sewers throughout the city.
Yep.
And then the last is our water reclamation facility. Before I start, I just want to recognize the job they're doing down there. And, you know, just like touring up at the water plant, if we could do a tour down water reclamation, some of you old enough like me remember when it smelled down there. It doesn't even smell anymore. So they've won numerous awards, and they've done a fantastic job down there. So yeah, they're doing some great things down there.
Yes,
so annual plant pump station renewal. This project will let us make miscellaneous improvements to our water reclamation facility and the collection system and the renewable energy facility. The renewable energy polymer system needs to be upgraded. That's at KB Bioenergy. I think I brought the design to you, or no, I think I brought the construction to you not too long ago, where we're replacing those tanks in the polymer system. WRF secondary treatment process. These are electrical improvements. These are the north blower building, then the pre-aeration building. WRF process control system. This project will replace the process control at the plant and obviously in the storage basins and the tunnel. They're replacing the old DCS system, which isn't even supported anymore, to a PLC system. Please don't explain me the difference, or make me explain the difference. I could bring Tom Smith, but you wouldn't make the 7 o'clock meeting. WRF headworks improvements. This project will let us upgrade the headworks. This is a closeout charge. This is the front end of the plant. This is where all the flow first hits. This is all the screening. So this project is nearly complete, and this is just closeout of that. And with that, I think that's it.
That's it. Very good. And that concludes the presentation. We have, I believe, 2 weeks.
Correct.
We'll be, and if there's anyone that has any questions or comments, they're free to level those toward myself or Helen Tomic or President Somerville. Questions or comments, anything whatsoever, in terms of this overall budget. But we'll be asking for a vote. I believe that's going to be the 12th?
We will
February
be
12th?
submitting an amendment.
Amendment?
By hopefully by the 5th. There have been some changes in numbers. Some of them we touched on, some of them we did not. But we will be submitting an amendment and then a vote by the 12th.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
We'll be submitting an amendment hopefully by the 5th, and we would ask for a vote by the 12th.
By the 12th, absolutely. Okay, very good, thank you. Okay, with that, I understand we have a presentation, Ms. Somerville?
Yep. So we do have Lori Porter, who's here with us, who's going to present some information regarding the shower bus.
Okay. Got the shower bus. Welcome.
There you go. Well, thank you.
Thanks.
I have a brand-new respect for you all.
It's exciting what we do here. Is very exciting, isn't it?
My Lord. God bless you all. We won't be so hard on you anymore. I'll spread the word to the community. Give them a little bit of a break. This was informative. Yes, so you all probably received in an email today an update about the shower bus. And for those that have been in City Council a little while, you're more familiar with it than some of the new folks are. But if you'll look at that information that we sent to you, I know last year we had asked, we were seeking funding through City Council, asking for $100,000, and I know that there was a little confusion about what that represented. And so we put together this one pager for you to hopefully give you better clarity about what putting this shower bus together, what the retrofit will cost. We know that the benefit to our community will be huge. And we're not just speaking in terms of folks that are perhaps unhoused because of alcohol or drug addiction. We're not just talking about folks that are unhoused because of perhaps some mental health conditions, but we're talking about, we have just come through COVID, and even through our work with Summit County Continuum of Care, we know that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people that are couch surfing. They do not have a home, and there are many people who, because of some of the things that we've experienced, the whole world has experienced it, but we're seeing it firsthand in our city. Folks have jobs, and you have to choose between paying rent or paying a car note. Which one would you pay? Well, I think I'd pay my car note and probably live in my car, because if I could get to work, I could make money. But the problem that people have with that is that, where am I going to get clean, right? Maybe you get a grant from the YMCA and you have a Y membership so you can sneak in and take a shower. But what we would be able to do is offer help to individuals that are, it doesn't matter why they need a shower. The fact that they do, it is a basic human need. And Robert Ford, our founder, was at one point homeless. He's a 25-year-old steel worker. He's at Goodyear right now, flipping those tires for those race cars. But he was once homeless, all because he, star athlete, went to a D1 college, was recruited, was slated for the Olympics. And because of a medical malfunction, a collapsed urethra, it left him walking around for 3 years with a hole in his belly. And as a result, he was unhoused. He had no food. He tells a story about going from individuals' houses to houses, asking if he could just sleep on their basement floor, if he could just wash up, if he could just take a shower, if he could just get a meal. And so Forever Our Children, we do, originally, this little organization started by giving out food in Kenmore, you know, supporting kids at Garfield. And when Rob found out there was no food, they started food pantries. And we're still doing work in the public schools with those schools there in Kenmore, and anywhere they call us. If you know Rob, he's going wherever, and he doesn't care what it costs. He funded this out of his own pocket for the first 3 years of its existence. So that's $30,000, $40,000, and then people started donating. So we're asking for $150,000, and you can see on the handout that we gave you, we gave the explanation as to why we're now asking for more money. There were some unforeseen costs that were incurred through the shower bus. What I want to encourage you on is that if we are given the $150,000, we are not that kid that goes out and lives on their own, right? Wastes all their money and then comes back and says, I want to move back in with you and I don't want to pay any bills. I want to just be a rock star. No, we are not going to do that. What we need is a hand up. We don't need a handout. We just need a hand up. We need a little bit of help, because this little baby organization that I have had the sheer pleasure of working with for the last 12 months shocked and amazed me when they said a shower bus. I thought, oh my God. But through the efforts of this board of directors and a small core group of volunteers, we've managed, yes, to raise over $100,000, but there's food pantry, there's so many different things, and I'm not going to belabor you because I know we're late. It's right there. But if you have any questions about it, I wanted to come to answer any questions so you could have complete clarity about all that's happening. The bus is sitting in Camper City right now. They're working on it every day. They took a short break because they had some shows to do. But how soon could we get the shower bus completely retrofitted? As soon as we could get the money to pay it off. It is just, in my opinion, y'all know I'm a pastor, so in my opinion, it is just the grace of God that they have moved at the pace that they have because we've been able to pay along the way, right? And so we're just looking for some help. $150,000, what would that do? It would get the bus not only retrofitted, but completely ready for service. It would also help us to stock that bus, staff that bus, train our staff, and be on the streets by late spring, early summer. We plan to do 1 to 2 showers a week, all day long. and the unique thing about what we're doing, unlike some other places that do offer showers, is that we're a traveling service provider. Our food pantry is a traveling food pantry, so we go where the need is. And folks are calling, and we want to answer the call, but we need your help to get this shower bus up and off the ground. What, will we ever come back again? I'm not going to say we're not, but we surely won't be asking for $150,000. Might we come back annually and say, can you give us 25? We've done a really great job, you'll see it on the handout, of forging partnerships and relationships with other organizations in our community to make sure that those folks that we serve get all of the resources that are available, but we also want to ensure through partnership that we don't duplicate services, right? My whole life mostly has been a nonprofit. My dad said I was a gypsy. When I was a kid, I said I was going to be a nun. I'm sort of all of those things. Why am I saying that? Because we have to pull our resources together and make sure that if John needs a coat, that he gets a coat. It's John's responsibility to keep up with that coat. We are not giving John a second coat a week later. And the only way we can do that is to connect with organizations like Continuum of Care and make sure that we are registering people and we are tracking the services that are being given so that we can help a broader scope of people. I'm going to just stop there because, you know, preachers, they say, and my last point, so I could go on and on. So I'm just going to stop because if there were any questions, I want to answer those questions for you.
Thank you for coming down. We certainly
Thank
appreciate
you.
it and
Thank you.
appreciate all your effort and everything that's going toward the goal here. And we have some newer members, which they may have some questions, that's for sure.
Yes.
But thank you for all the work that you've done so far, and we're looking forward to seeing this hit the ground and hit the road. Is there any questions or comments from, we'll go with, I'll just go right down the line here. Dan Davis.
Although I'm new, I followed it last year. I think it's an awesome program, and I would fully support it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hanna?
I think it's an excellent program also. I've been reading about it, and I read about it last year. I want to commend Metro for supplying that bus. My question is, where would you get the water from in the winter months?
Good question. Well, when we talk about partnership, and I've got a list of people that we've talked to. You have a few of those names on there. That does not reflect all the people that we are engaged in conversation with. The list is long, but we're engaging in conversation with folks to help us provide all those services. Through the city of Akron, Chris Luddle and the fire chief and a group of us met last year, and the city had committed to providing the water for us, for sheltering the bus during the inclement weather season. We won't go out because we cannot risk what would happen to the inner workings of the bus if something freezes up. So when the weather is too low, we'll just store it away in a place that Chris can tell you more about. And then the black and gray water, I've learned so much. The city, again, has offered to provide dumping for us to help us with that. And then finally, dumping, even some gas cards. if they find a little bit of money somewhere, they've offered to help us with that. So that has, even as you're looking at what we've presented, those things are not included in the cost. So we couldn't have gotten to this point without already the administrative leg of the city doing the work that they've done by committing those things to us. And let me say this, we are absolutely so grateful for each and every one of you and for that commitment to us already.
Thank you. Ms. Mobian?
I only wanted to say that
Her hand was up before yours.
what
Bill, I'll get to you.
what blew me away about this last year was the partnership with the churches, where they would go to the churches and they would have other organizations there to provide a full continuum of services to people that go there, food, clothing, a bath, and all of that. And there are a number of churches that have agreed for them to park the bus and just be there for either all day or several hours or whatever the case may be. So it's not like they're gonna be at the park or on the street. They're gonna be somewhere where people can come and be safe and get what they need.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mobian. Mr. Lombardo?
Thank you. No, I just wanted to say, I mean, you talk about doing your homework and doing your research and planning this whole thing out. It's a great idea. It's awesome. I would support it. I don't know the level of support at this time, but this is needed for the community, and I appreciate everything that you and your organization have done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any further questions or comments from anyone? Okay. Well, thank you again for presenting before council, and we certainly appreciate it. And we're through this phase of it, the phase that the fun phase of learning about all the projects we're going to be doing next year. And for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be rolling up our sleeves and sharpening our pens and pencils here. So we'll be looking at and considering where we go from here. So again, thank you so much and good luck. And I'm sure we'll be in contact.
Okay, so can I ask one question?
Oh, sure, of course.
So I think we were hoping that we could be added to the capital budget somewhere, or any budget, like in
Any
my
budget,
house.
yeah.
I've got, my kids, they know I got money places, pockets in a vase, whatever. And so, I just want to, one more time, just, encourage council in the city. I know Mayor Malik and Chief Strategist Nanette, thank you all. And again, just thank you all. But I really want to encourage you, because this organization, who, by the way, did everything that they've done without employees up until last year, and really the board has been doing this work of forming this vision. They have to hire employees. I've been in the nonprofit sector forever. And this work, we don't have fidgets and widgets to sell. If we did, we managed to raise over $100,000 when before the budget was about 30 or 40. We're gonna do more than that. That's not a question. But time is of the essence. So we need our city to get behind us and say, you know what? This is not a one and done. We're doing our homework. We're connecting with partners to make sure that we don't fail you, nor do we make you ashamed that you supported us and gave us that money. I tell my kids and grandkids, I have 4 kids and 14 grandchildren, and I tell them all, I'm willing to make an investment, but I gotta have a return. We promise to give you the expected return that you're looking for if you will take a chance and invest in us. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from anyone? Nothing? Okay, very good. We're adjourned.